Hello everyone, this is Anthony, and this is my 15th attempt at this video, mostly because I want to do it right for y'all. So I've got my unit circle here, and I've got a couple things written down that help me specifically to remember all of the values of the sine, the cosine, the tangent, the cosecant, secant, cotangent, all that. Some important numbers are these three numbers here, plus or minus 1/2, plus or minus square root of 3/2, and plus or minus square root of 2/2. Because as you notice when you look around, besides the 4 points, the 90-degree points all the way around, they mostly consist of those three numbers. The big thing that helps when thinking about radians is that anything over 6 is going to have the grouping square root of 3, comma 1/2. Now, depending on the quadrant, you're going to have a negative x, or a negative x and a negative y, or positive x, negative y. But if your radians are over 6, then you know that the x value is going to be square root of 3/2, positive or negative, and the y value would be negative or positive or negative 1/2. So with pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, if you look at all of their coordinates, you'll notice that it's the same grouping, just different positives and negatives based on the quadrant. And you notice the same thing happening with pi over 4, or 3 pi over 4, or 5 pi over 4, or 7 pi over 4. They all have square root of 2/2, comma square root of 2/2, plus or minus, depends on the quadrant again. Another fun fact about those ones that I use to help me is if it ends in 5, if the degrees end in 5, you're going to end up with either one of these answers. So that's an easy pattern to pick up. If you notice that 60 degrees, or 120, or double that, 240 plus another 60, 300, you'll get pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, 5 pi over 3. So the pi's over 3, or 60, 120, 240, 300, will have 1/2 square root of 3/2. So those are like the basics that help me to remember the values of the sine or cosine. Another important notes are sine of y, or sine is y, cosine x. Tangent is sine over cosine, or y over x. With the unit circle, it's easy to get confused, but using those methodologies, you can just quickly guess, like the cosine of 225 degrees is going to be negative square root of 2/2, because 225 is going to be in between 180 and 270, and it ends in 5. So it'll be negative square root of 2/2. Easy. Another, example is like the sine of 11 pi over 6, and that's the y value, and 11 pi over 6 is between 3/2 pi and 2 pi, or 0. And you'll get negative 1/2 is the y value. So another part that helps me is noticing that it's also hemispheres. When you think about x, you've got positive x, negative x. When you think about y, you have positive y, negative y. Those things always are like good to think about when talking about the unit circle and talking about what helps you determine certain sine or cosine values or tangent values even. And yeah, those are kind of my tips. I hope that this was helpful. I've drawn the unit circle maybe 5 or 6 times. Here's another one I did. I definitely recommend drawing it multiple times as well. Something that's helped me a lot is just to like think about it in one quadrant and go quadrant at a time. Because if you really think about it, this is just a mirror of this. And this side is just a mirror of that side. So yeah, I hope that helps. Yeah, and these are some numbers to think about. And yeah, I hope that you guys all do well on the test. I hope that I do well on the test. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.